Hi everyone, my name is Rachel and this is the channel Licking Floss. Thank you for joining me today for just a little Flosstube update. I have reached 2 years in Flosstube making videos. I think my first video was just over 2 years ago from what I saw from the YouTube Studio app. And I just want to say thank you everyone for watching my videos, sending comments towards my way, message me on Instagram, and it has all been wonderful. I have had a good time being a part of the community for the last, or the Flosstube community the last 2 years, and then I was on Instagram a bit before my first Flosstube video. So just thank you everyone for being celebrating 2 years with me. It's been awesome. Okay, so to get into it for this update, there's been a lot more new starts than, well, just I feel like I've had like a million new starts in the last like 2 months. But there's been more new starts, there's been restarts, and just a little bit of couple whip progress, no finishes, no fully finishes. So yeah, so let's do my new starts. I was at my LNS for, I guess, fun. I don't know, just wandering. And then I was there for a specific reason. Maybe I had to get like one floss or something. I'm not sure. But I was like, well, since I'm here, let me look at their fabric. And I always knew I wanted to restart Audia the Garden Fairy from Mirabilia because this is my old whip. And I made quite a bit of progress, but I guess this fabric wasn't exactly what I was going for, but I knew I was going for purple. But this is my old whip on Audia in Plum by, I guess, Fiber on a Whim, or Plum by, the fabric's called Plum. I don't quite remember the fabric dyer. But so my new whip is also on purple, but it's on a very darker purple. And I have almost reached the point that's where I was on my old whip. So let me put them up for fabric comparison. So I kind of always envisioned her in like a really dark, moody, royally type purple. And this one just wasn't quite it for me. So I did find this purple. This is Atomic Ranch. I forget the name of the color. Artemis? Yeah, this is Artemis by Atomic Ranch. And I have just kind of been powering through it, and it's been fairly easy stitching. So this is my restart. Next, I do have a couple new starts. So the first one I've only gotten a couple days from is the Skyrim sampler by Jet X Stitch. I think I'm about 10% on this. I don't play Skyrim myself, but I do know quite a few family members who do play, and I figure this would just be like a good either Christmas gift or some kind of gift. But so this is just on like a Charles Craft Navy, and I am using, I think, DMC 318 as the gray stitching color. And so that was very spontaneous. I was not expecting that. But another very spontaneous new start, I was at my library stitching group and someone had finished this recently, and then they were like, okay, well, I'm done with it. I don't need the chart anymore. So she threw it on the table and my jaw dropped because it's Bluebell from Mirabilia. It's an out of print chart, highly sought after. I got it for free and I started stitching away immediately that day. As soon as I left the library, I went to Michael's. I bought all the DMC because I knew I did not want to go searching through my stash just to see if I have it. And if I didn't have it, then I'd have to go to the store. And there was only like 14 DMC colors. And then I think that same day or the day after, I went to my LNS and I was like, I need all the Krynics. And I did the best I could. I think I got one of the called for Krynics, but then I subbed for some Rainbow Gallery. But this is what I have. This is either 28 or 32 count Nora by Grace Notes Fabric. I got this at the 2023 Queen City Stitch Retreat. It is a very soft blue. And I asked a couple people, I was like, should I do it on this? So I was thinking, I was like, well, I could do Bluebell on this purple, this plum, or I have a very vibrant orangey yellow from Be Stitch Me that it's just been sitting, and I had this as an option. And I got a couple mixed, like they all put in their input, which I really appreciate, but I think I was really in love with the blue on blue, because I also didn't quite know what to do with this fabric. I was just holding on to it just to see if something came across, and Bluebell came across. So her dress is completely stitched with all the DMC. I think next I'll work on her skin, and then maybe the flower and the wings after that. But I am very happy with this. Yes, I was just blown away. I was like, I have to start this immediately. So I'm excited for that. So there's one new start. And then my other new start is from Midsummer Stitch by Lindy Stitches. And this is the Tiny Modernist exclusive chart release, I guess. And their original called for flowers are like pink and red, and there's some like a little toadstool down here that's also the pink and red. But this was a fabric I had on stash, and I just didn't think the pink and red would complement the fabric as well. So I did substitute the purples in there, and then I put the purples up here in the little moth butterfly things. I am not a bug person, so I don't quite know the most about insects. So you could tell me that's a moth, I'd believe you. You could tell me that's a butterfly, I'd believe you. But I've been stitching on this the last couple days. It's been fairly quick and easy. Oh, the fabric is 28 or 32 counts. Jamie's Kilt by Fabrics by Stephanie, I believe. I bought this in Omaha at the LNS up there, but it says Jamie's Kilt, and I think Fabrics by Stephanie is the Jamie's Kilt fabric dyer. I don't know any other dyer that has a fabric named Jamie's Kilt. So this is that. And then I think I only have 2 new starts. This is going by a lot fast. No, sorry. I have 3 whips that I worked on since I last saw you. The first, here, let me just, so I haven't worked on full coverages in more than a year, but I was very much in the mood to work on a full coverage. It's just like comforting, I guess, to work on a full coverage. And I pulled out all my full coverage whips and I looked at them all and I narrowed them down. I was like, what am I in the mood for? Kept taking one away that I was like, oh, I don't want to do full crosses. Oh, I don't want to do this much jumping around. So I pulled out, I don't have the cover page. I pulled out Settling In, Chris Dunn artwork, charted by Pain Free Crafts. And if you could see on my little needle minder, that's a little badger. And then I worked on like maybe more than 1,000 stitches of right here. This is like a hanging scarf next to the fireplace. And I believe I did reach 10%. And this is on 28 count, 2 strands over 1 half cross. So it's not a ton, but it's progress, and it made me feel a lot better working on that, because I have had the urge to pull out a lot of my full coverages lately and just make progress on them, but then I also get overwhelmed by the amount of stitches it would take to finish them. Even though I do consider myself a process stitcher, there's a balance, right, between processing and finishing, and sometimes I feel like you need those little wins of a finish. And right now I'm just trying to, even though I've been starting like a million things, I am trying to finish, get my whip list down, even though I've recently increased it a lot. Okay, it's a balance, right? Okay, another whip that I am working on, and this is Cherry Magpie by Jet X Stitch. And this is probably 30%. It's on the called for fabric. Beetroot, this is the called for fabric. When I first started Audia, it's like an Audia episode, Audia, however you want to call it, I bought beetroot along with this plum fabric, debating which one to start it on. And then I chose plum, and then I just have had beetroot on hand, waiting for the perfect time to pull it out. But then Cherry Magpie was on called for beetroot, so I was like, let's do it. So this is 30%. And I've been working up here, over here, just smaller details now. Oh, I had a little scissors on the back. That's nice to know. Okay, and then my last whip that I have been working on is Coffee and Eggs by the Artsy Housewife. And I have been working on oh, sorry, this is a tangled mess. This is on 36 count vintage country mocha. And I've been working on this, see, told you it's a tangled mess. The rainbow up here, and that's all I've been working on. Did I say 1 strand over 2 36 count vintage country mocha? I don't, oh, maybe that's why I was at my LNS, was to pick up like 1 skein of her hair. And then that's when I grabbed the Atomic Ranch purple. Okay, I think, okay, also, after the library, my library stitching, before I went to Michael's, I went to my secondhand craft store and I picked up, what's this called? Cross and Patch the Garden, Emmy Bishop. It's something I've never done before, but it looked, it looked really pretty. I really like whatever this variegated green, you probably can't see it very well, variegated green pinky colors, and some of those specialty stitches. It looks really gorgeous, and I just saw it and I had to pick it up, and it was just a couple, like, what's it say right here, $2. So there's that. Since I last saw you, I did go to Midsummer Stitch. I was kind of on and off throughout the day because life, like I throw in the headphones, listen to a presenter or like a Flosstube, and I listened. I feel so bad for this person. I did do one of the speed dating, but the first person that popped up, my mic wasn't working, and I was on my phone. I wasn't on my laptop, so it was kind of difficult to navigate from my phone. And then they hung up on me, and I was just like, okay, I get it. My feelings were not hurt. But then the second person, I was able to get my mic to work, and they were there. They were in Alaska, and I was like, how cool is that? That I got to speak to someone that was living in Alaska at the moment, and we just kind of talked about Alaska, and that was really cool. And then I think I just got too scared Oh no, I did talk to a couple and they were really nice. And then after that, I just got too scared and I was like, one-on-one conversations is not my cup of tea. Like, I do like the stitching tables. That was really fun. Um, I tried to speak one time, but my mic wasn't working. And then, like, when I left to go do something else and came back to the stitching table, I was like kicked off. I was in this ghost room. I could not get back to the regular stitching table. Um, but that was fine because it was late already and I was like, I should just go to bed and be responsible. And then the second day was the same. I was like in and out, and and then at the end of the day, I got to do some more stitching tables and have one-on-one conversation with somebody, and that was really cool. Um, I had a great time at Midsummer Stitch. I might, I'm not, I might do the fall Lindy Stitch virtual retreat, but no promises. That's like a smaller one, so I'm not sure. And then I do want to do Jingle Ball. I've never done Jingle Ball before, but that one does also see that one seems like the bigger one. So I think I'd be very interested in that one. So yeah, that is all my stitching updates. Thank you for joining me today, and thank you for the 2 years on Flosstube. It's been really nice. I know I've been in and out of Flosstube. Like, this is, I think, my 21st video in 2 years, which isn't the most consistent, but I've had a great time. I hope you've had a great time. So thank you. Until next time. Oh, I should be making a whip parade here soon, so keep an eye out for that. And everyone have a wonderful, what's today? Wednesday. Bye.